答えは常に塔の上にある。
間に合ったな。アリーナに売店ぐらいあるよな。
After school.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast, another episode for the Webtoons, and we finally got an update on the boy SIU. Last we heard, we were taking a break from Tower of God, he wasn't feeling well, and it's pretty much been silence ever since. That was pretty worrying, we're like, what kind of, is it COVID, is it something worse? One part, thankfully, it is not a medical issue, like he's not sick with any disease or anything. Yeah, more on the mental health side. He is suffering a lot of stress from making Tower of God. Yeah, he updated his blog post not that long ago, and I read the rough translation off of Google Translate, and to basically summarize what he's been saying is, I think he just wasn't ready for the serialization life. That's kind of what it sounded like. He was talking about the pressure of having to teach new assistants, and then just the constant rejections from manuscripts for chapters, and then just the intense schedule that it takes to be a weekly series. We know it's tough based on like what mangakas have said, but don't forget that manhwas and webtoons, they're in color, so they have to add all that onto the plate. Back and wrists weren't feeling good, and yeah, he just needed a break, and he basically said he was going around kind of catching up on life, essentially visiting people he hasn't talked to in years, checking occasionally on social media, which he rarely does as it is, and just trying to find his place back so that way he could get ready to finish the story. He also noted that he feels like if he were to just push through it all, it would not be the story that he wants the fans to read. It wouldn't be high quality. Naruto is a good example for that. Kishimoto, he was also not ready for the serialization life. He took a long break from drawing before he hopped back into the manga scene. And, it really shows towards the end with the scarcity of backgrounds. The majority of the art was probably from his assistant, is what it looked like. And just how the story fell apart because he just didn't know where to keep going. And, right now in Tower Season 3, where it's at, a lot of crazy intense stuff is happening. Things are building up even bigger than they were before. So yeah, you need time and care to make sure that story does not go downhill.
Somebody like Sue, he must have had or SIU, he must have had like a manuscript or like a story somewhere. I feel like give him some time. He's not like Miria, where he's not going to be like 7 years for us to get off the boat. He just needs some time to just enjoy his life again, and then once he gets inspired, he'll come back, and he'll resume where he left off.
Well, I think with Mira's case, too, is how detailed the art still is, right? Like the last chapter that came out, it's still really intense on the details. So I think that's probably another reason why it takes forever for those chapters to come out. But yeah, essentially, it just really sounds like his body's a mess, and he's got writer's block. You do not want those combinations in your life.
When you're on a deadline.
Especially the deadlines, because, yeah, those are intense, and I don't know how it is over there for their editors and how they decide to take the route of the story, because on Webtoons, right, you have the free chapters that are out, and then you have the 3 that are behind the paywall. Well, which opinions are you going to base your story route on? Is it going to be the majority, which is the free one, or like the dedicated fans? There has to be an interesting balance there. And I know for mangakas, they're always 3 chapters ahead of what just came out. It's interesting to think of how many chapters SIU really is from where we are. Maybe like 8 chapters or something crazy. But yeah, he said he doesn't know when he's going to come back, but when he does, it'll definitely mean that he's ready to continue on where the story has left off. So it was good hearing from him, man. It sucks that, he's going through this in his time of life, and we just hope that he can, get better. Because I know for mangakas, I think Oda averages 4 hours of sleep a day, and that is not good. That's not a good thing to do. So the only other Tower news is that the OST will be coming out digitally. I believe it was November. But all right, man, let's go ahead and start into this episode. The Second Great War in God of High School and a bit of the epilogue. So that's covering chapters 151 to 175, picking up where we left off with the high intensity that's going on in this full-scale war that's over in the Sage Realm against Heaven. This is some really high-quality stuff, majority of the time.
Fucking cows and monkeys versus gods, bro.
God, it's so cool, man. I think my biggest highlight from this is the art. I like how intense it feels. The way it's drawn during certain moments and climaxes of fights, it feels very anime, and that's really good stuff. Like when, towards the end fights, when Morihjin was fighting Ardun, one of the crown princes, just the way it was stylized in their expressions was really great. It was selling the fight and making you understand how intense that they're going at it with each other.
It's essentially an all-out war, Everybody's got a stake in it.
Especially the boy Bak.
This is definitely giving me Shikamaru vibes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's hilarious, man, especially when he's talking to Uma in the little flashback before they made the direct contract, and he's like, yeah, I don't really want to do this, like, what are the details? And she's like, bro, it's gonna be okay. Yeah, his fight was great. I liked it a lot. As usual, very methodical and calculated the entire time, using all of his new abilities that he's got. It's great stuff, Like I was saying last episode, I want to see what some of these characters can do when they have powers, because he hasn't had a power up until this point, and sure enough, came out great. And even with Iplo Park, man, just like him utilizing the upgrades that he has with his Fox, that was some great stuff too. I really liked his fight, because it's like, he doesn't really have to be here, but just how intense it got when he was fighting one of the crown princes was fantastic.
I really liked the fight between Mori and the older Argon.
And Ardun.
Yeah. Good fight.
I think personally that was probably the best one for me. I know that obviously he's main character and he had to have like a lot of flashy tropes and shit like that, but I really just kind of liked they incorporated, Sujin in the end there a little bit. And then like it was like kind of like an all for all battle, like at first like they were fighting each other and then they were fighting him and then he traps her and then they're fighting and then Mori's fighting him again and then Mori's, having to fight her as soon as he's done, and then it's just like, all for all and all for all keep going.
Yeah, you could tell the scale of how intense each fight was going to be. Like if it wasn't going to be Ardun's fight, then the one with Liat the Ice Prince, that fight was also pretty intense. But we knew, end of the day, the Ardun fight was going to be the best with the most intensity. I think because the way he described it was like, oh yeah, my body's made out of like the hardest substance. So, Mori's got to really put in that work. I don't know how I felt about the Sujin coming in and is just kind of like, no, fuck you, Mori. I'm going to beat you up right now. I don't care if we're in the middle of war. Like, I want to throw hands.
Yeah, she was fucking annoying that way. Like, I gotta be honest.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but in the comments, every chapter that she shows up in, nobody is a big fan of her. They don't like her at all. Yeah, they weren't big fans of that, which I can understand, because she's so one-sided, and I really thought she was gonna wait until everything finished for them to fight one-on-one. Which, I mean, eventually we do get their one-on-one fight, where it's just them not using borrowed powers, and that was really great too. It reminded me a lot of, I guess you could say, Frieza Saga. I was getting a lot of that because everybody's got to leave, this planet's going to blow up, and it's like, oh wait, we need this final showdown to go on.
I was thinking the exact same thing. I'm not gonna lie, I like the build up that it led to, because I thought it was a better outcome just for them to kind of be just how you were, just kind of like what we were talking about with the Freezer Saga, in a situation where you used up all of your power, you're exhausted, the planet's literally blowing up, and you're just like, no matter what, all of that shit is still in the back of your mind, and all you really care about is just proving who was better. Grandpa's version of the Taekwondo or the original Northern style, I really loved that whole little flashback to the fight that Taijin had with his master.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of shows you the side by side comparisons that they were doing the same actions and the same movements, And it's kind of weird how the story goes because it's not really the first time that you see that kind of happen in God of High School. And that's pretty much how they kind of introduce a new move every now and then. So it's cool to see at least the Mori's original dragon match up against like the original Northern ITF Taekwondo and seeing which one was stronger, which one was the better one, you know? I didn't really expect that, but that was a really cool twist to it.
You know what I didn't expect is the pole that the fake Monkey King used was the armor.
Yeah, that was
fucking
cool.
realize that was fucking cool, dude.
Yeah. In the last episode too, we were just talking about, oh, you know, we don't even know if it's going to be like, if he's going to end up using it or how he's going to use it.
Yeah, and it's the final piece to Mori's clothing, I guess. So now he has his full memory intact, and I think that's what makes him the MVP is the way he was using it this entire time. Just the way he came in, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm OP right now."
Dude, he spread that fucking shit to every fucking monkey person, dude.
Yeah, pretty hardcore stuff. And then all of a sudden now he could do shadow clones, and then with the power pole, they can all use it, and then that could expand too. This fight's very. It reminded me of a lot of Naruto versus Pain when he went back to Konoha as well. Just him coming in during the climax, and then it's like, okay, now I'm popping off. I'm making sure everyone's safe. I'm showing off all these flashy moves. You know, it's looking pretty easy, and then, you know, the fights get more and more intense as we come in.
I really liked Sujin's like little conclusion to that, and I really love the tie-in with the young version of Sim. I had to take back some of my words from like earlier episodes, like I think episode 1 or 2 when we were talking about this. And like Sim at first seemed like one of those just plot characters that like kind of just happened to know a lot of shit without explaining how. And then he just died off so quickly. I just kind of I just kind of chalked him up to be like one of those like filler characters, you know? And like come to find out, you know, he was just kind of waiting on him like with the back burner to like tie him into Sujin's little thing. And I was like, oh man, that's really dope. And I'm not gonna lie, now I'm really looking forward to seeing this like Ryu guy and seeing how like he's gonna end up teaching Mira the true Wolfgang, or is it Wolf? I'm just gonna say Wolfgang. Yeah. I know it's not Wolfgang, but it's
Wolfgang style.
Wolfgang, yeah, Wool something. Wolfgang, Odd Future. So I am looking forward to that in the next chapter. I hope we get to see some of that. Or I'm not next chapter, but the next arc. I always hate the way that they kind of progress everyone's like character development. They really kind of gave Mira that niche like Sakura, where like, oh yeah, like you can have like the trio, you know, like Team 7, and it's like
thinks she's not as strong as either of them.
But to be fair, like Naruto and Sasuke have like really bullshit powers, dude. Like straight bullshit, dude. And I kind of get the same feeling from Dawe and Mori. Like, of course, no doubt Mori, because he's the main character. Like, he's just gonna have that shit going on for him. But even like,
why would you say Dawe has that? Like, I see Mori.
Okay, so no, like
the Kyokushin is like why? Just the Kyokushin?
Yeah, the Kyokushin karate, no lie, I still feel like Daiwei has the potential to be a lot stronger or even on par with like Mori, even though he's like referred to as God and shit like that. Like the way that they put it, like in 175, the last chapter for this arc, every 1,000 years, every once in a while, even a human will have the same power as a god. And I got that from Taijin, and I definitely got that from Dawei. And one thing about Dawei's backstory that we really still haven't got into is there's one member of the Six that looks exactly like Dawei, that has the same exact fighting style as Dawei, but we still haven't seen much about him yet.
Oh, I think I remember who you're talking about, though. It's like in the earlier chapters. I can't remember where. I think it was like where.
Yeah. Are you talking about
the Nox crew? From the Nox crew were like.
They had like a little flashback, and they even showed his little silhouette when they were like,
I remember.
Up on Taijin.
Yeah, one of the old members. Yeah.
So there's like still a lot of mystery to Daiwei, and then the last thing I want to say about it is he ended up going up against the king really early, and out of all the things that he can do for the king to exhibit his strength, and the only thing that he did, or what I should say is the only thing that he could do, was take out his eye. And I'm like, for a guy who's supposed to be super OP, you think he'd do a lot more. But I don't think that he could. I think that taking out his eye was like pretty strong enough.
It's because he comes back to talk to Daiwi about it, and he's just like, yeah, I just had to do that to show that, we're not going to hold back. And I'm sure there's going to be more to that because he has a special liking to Daiwi. And I think there is probably some connection to what you're saying, Oscar, with that old member from the Six. There's probably some history between that. But yeah, when I was reading this arc, I was thinking, like, how is Daiwi and Mira gonna keep up? I thought we kind of had that going on, but then the scale just got even bigger again. And I'm like, I don't know, they're gonna have to do something crazy. And now that Daiwi's missing an eye, and he could still lose to his sister that we meet at the end of this arc. I'm sure he's gonna go through some training, before like this new God of High School tournament goes on for like the world finals or whatever it's going to be called. It'll be interesting. I hope they do something that is like they find their own route to get as strong as Mori is, because Mira got confronted by, I'm going to assume, is like a distant relative or something, that, uses the same sword style as her Ryu, I think his name was, right?
Yeah, Ryu.
Yeah, as we find out, he was the one who killed Judge T, the blind guy. That was pretty cool. So eventually I think she is going to train under him. Daiwi's going to be training with his sister and then figure out what to do with his eye. And they'll kind of go their own routes of strength. So that'll be pretty cool to see. I'm looking forward to that. But then, yeah, we see some stuff that's happening outside of the Sage Realm. As you know, like that stuff is... What is it? 1 hour over there is a day in... No, 1 hour in the Sage Realm is like a day in the real world. And we see everyone's breaking out because Sujin let go of her powers to seal the borrowed powers. We get true intentions from Mujin Park. How he's just like, yeah, let's just keep Taijin under lock so we could control Mori. And he just wants to gain his old powers back. His, like, political powers back anyway. And... I said last episode that Judge R, I'm like, yeah, he's just faking it this whole time. But now, after seeing what he's doing, I'm like, I guess not. I guess he really just went to Nox to gain more power. That still trips me out.
He's the third person that I've seen so far with Tam, or like with the ability like Tam. And they're like, I think that he's just going to be like a regal version of like these... I don't think he's going to be the last version of Tam, honestly. But I think that he's going to be of like a unique or a regal version where like he's just improving with Tam more better than everyone else to a point where maybe he can do something different with it. Like so far I really liked like the whole Okura thing that he could do and make like swords out of light beams and shit. Like I thought that was really cool. But at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, okay, so you're essentially making yourself to be like an imitation key or something like that. Like I understand that you're trying to surpass like Mori, but I really don't think that you're going to be anything more than something generic unless like they really take this whole perspective with his version of Tam to a different level, or maybe something that he can actually use for once. Like if he makes direct contact with Tam or something like that. And then, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm just going to call it right here. But I'm thinking that Tam might also have something to do with like the end game kind of scenario or something. Like if maybe Tam is some sort of symbiotic thing that they use to harvest like the best powers for like only the best like people, like the top echelon people of like the priests and bishops and kings and stuff like that. Because I have to assume there's probably more than one king. I think they called him the King of the West or something like that. This guy here, the one that took out Daiwei's eye. So I think there might be three other kings.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. It feels like that kind of item, right? Because they did mention stuff about like taboos towards the end of this and how people can break them to gain more power. And I feel like this is kind of one of those things that come from that. So I can see that happening. The epilogue stuff's pretty good. For this arc, I find it very interesting about Mori Jin having a clone that ends up surviving, and the real Mori Jin is just not here right now. He stayed in the Sage Realm when that ship blew up, and he saved Sujin. So having a clone show up and he already feels like a way different character. It's gonna be interesting to see how he's gonna interact with everybody and what's gonna happen when the real Mori comes back, and how long is that gonna take?
Maybe he might end up being a different person altogether.
When he comes back?
Yeah, if he comes. Well, yeah, I'm gonna say if he comes back, because who knows? He might end up pulling some bullshit with the story, you know.
I think Morihjin will definitely grow. He is definitely going to act like his old self when he comes back, if he comes back, right? Same happy-go-lucky guy, but he's quicker on the draw when it comes to the times to get serious during situations. And I think just him rejecting what his old self was is already enough for him to try to better himself as it is. Because, having the scope of him being the king of the monkeys definitely changes it in him. And we could see it, I guess, during like the climax of the arc when he's trying to rescue everybody with his armor. And then, he seals them all up in the gourd so that way they can escape safely from the planet and all that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to what's the time gap between him missing and the clone doing what he can do.
It might be months. I think that kind of just to piggyback off you is just I'm looking forward to seeing what this Mori fights like, if he does anything different or any other style, maybe if he learns his own originals during the fights, because he's kind of like the kind of person who will pick up moves as he fights new people. I wonder if they'll even like share or retain memories like as it's happening, but that might be some bullshit that might pull like later on when he comes back. I want to say that he probably won't be back for months, because I think that this new tourney coming up for the GOH is gonna take like a couple weeks or months. It's gonna be like a battle royale, but I don't know for sure if everything's legitimately gonna happen like all in the span of a day. I think that kind of be a little short for an arc, unless they just plan on making it like one of those doomsday arcs where everything happens in like the span of 24 hours.
I gotta gush real quick about fucking Judge Q. The Grand Circus, bro. Oh my god, man! It just sucks. It just sucks because it showed like because Judge R just blew all the fucking Jokers away. It didn't show like what else they were gonna do. But dude, he's just he's so cool, dude. Straight like he just puts on the mask, dude, and then it's over. It's just dude. Like I'm reading here in the fucking wiki about all the attacks that he can do with them. And there's this last one that I saw that I didn't see yet, but I'm like, dude, that's fucking insane, man. The shit that he can do, dude, it's crazy.
Yeah, I still think his power is a good example of how different each borrowed power can be and how you can utilize it.
It's like an awakened devil fruit.
But yeah, because once he started wearing the mask, like the little Joker mask he had, I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be fun. Like I can't wait for that rematch between those guys. And, one of my favorite parts for the epilogue is we do get some downtime with our characters. And all I gotta say, man, is it's wife time for our boy.
It's wife time. Bak
Bak
Sung-chul.
At least
Sung-chul, yeah.
Sancho? Is that what you called him?
Sancho? Yeah.
That's what we should call him from now on, Sancho.
Sanchito? Yeah, Sancho.
Yeah, this is a nice little epilogue here. For a while, I thought he was just ignoring Uma's presence. Because, like, not only, like, the characters do say that when they're with him, but, like, even the comments are like, so is he really ignoring her? I'm like, yeah, I feel like he would be the kind of character to do that. But no, it turns out that, yeah, they sort of lost the connection with each other. And that might have to do with the fact that her physical body's dead. And how she's just kind of, like, she is kind of like a ghost right now. So that could be it. But yeah, it was some nice wholesome stuff. Like you said in the last arc, like when he rescued her, like he says like a line that's like pretty cool.
My dad said not to leave girls alone who give their hearts to you.
Yeah, exactly.
No, husband, no.
And just the way the chapter ends, she fixes the bat that was broken. That was his dad's. It means a lot to him. And then as he's looking through the bat, we see the reflection, and he could see Uma there. And I'm like, that's pretty cool, man. Yeah. Wife time all day.
Wife time. But I think it's hilarious, though, that everybody else can see her, though.
right?
Oh yeah, they could. Yeah, they did see her. Yeah, yeah. Daiwi and Mira was looking like, yeah, like what's with why is this guy ignoring her?
Like, are they is he just ignoring her on purpose? Or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. To kick off the last chapter that tease us for the next arc, we see that Nox did repair Korea. I think it was Seoul, right, where that all that shit blew up.
Yeah.
They did repair it, but it seems that they were doing stuff, underground in secret. They were looking for something, and sure enough, Mujin Park finds it. And what is it but another giant crystal that's buried in there? And is, the thing I can think of, like, I know that's not Mori, so that has to be a new god that's going to come in.
Oh, legit, dude.
Yeah.
And then he just got rocked by that priest. Oh my god! He got weak, dude.
Yeah, this Igor-looking guy, coming in.
Yeah!
Yeah. Yeah, Mujin's definitely still an interesting character, because it feels like we don't really know which side he kind of is. Like, we know he's not the enemy, but is he a bad guy? That's how I feel about him. It's like we still don't know his true intentions, so I'm looking forward to that. And I feel like it's going to play a big role with the God of High School tournament that's going to be kicking off. As he had a strong arm everybody to get Korea to be sure that they're in there.
Yeah,
it's funny. I think is that part of his like a borrowed power, where that he needs to let's see, let me how do I put this? He needs to generate the populace like opinion on him, and then it's as big as he is, because it feels like he's like at the end when he brought down the whole subway system on that priest. He walked away and he was gonna say like, man, I need the Korean team to win the God of High School tournament. I'm too weak, and which made me think that like maybe like just the whole like Korea, the whole state, or like the whole area of Korea where he's at, they need to like maybe he needs to generate good publicity about himself in the public mind in order for him to be like strong with the God hand or whatever the fuck that is,
Right.
Because like I don't know, or unless that Nox is just fucking OP with everybody, but I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I know he wants his political power to be as strong as it can be, so that way he could do the things that he wants to do. But yeah, I would be curious too about what his other intentions are. Yeah.
I think that we had said this off record with another friend that's currently caught up to go to high school, but it's basically he's getting himself to a point where he can be in complete control to basically ensure that the world is saved. I'm using air quotes, saved, based off what he can do, because only he can save the world, And I think to a point he's correct. I don't think that he's like completely selfish. I think that at the end, or once it gets to like the cusp of what he was trying to do, like we're gonna get to see things like change into kind of a semi-positive but still critical climax, in which case his character will change slightly towards the more good side of things rather than the bad. He might die off, might not. I mean, he's kind of just that character that can go either way. That's kind of the mystery about him, which I like. But it's good to see that, he's pretty much doing the nitty-gritty himself. Because at the beginning, it was just his commissioners and shit doing all of that when he was in power and stuff. And now that he's not in power, but he's also not wanted either, you would assume that maybe he would have some sway here and there, and he'd have somebody doing it for him. But no, he's like doing it himself. You know what I mean? So I think that even though it doesn't look like it, there's already some kind of character development that's kind of changed towards him having to lower himself and not really feel like he's like beneath, or like everybody's beneath him, to get shit done. Especially because he got his ass kicked a couple times. And I think that, he can't just be picky anymore. He is a good leader, not a boss, like Nox.
So, I'm hyped for the next arc. I'm curious to see who's going to be on the Korean team. I'm going to bet if it's, because we don't know how large the teams are, but if I'm going to guess, it's going to be a 3-man team. I would guess Iplo Park, Mori Jin, and
Tawe.
Probably Daiwei, yeah. Well, I don't know if they're going to choose him now because, you know, he is missing the eye still, and he could just be out training and would rather not enter the tournament at this time.
Could be Mira, but who knows? I'm just kind of looking forward to seeing the actual thing itself. It doesn't really matter who it is because it's just going to be a battle royale anyway. So, looking forward to that.
Yeah, because we saw teases of some of the other participants that are going to be joining from across the world, and I'm looking forward to see how they are going to be because that looks pretty hype. So, all right, man, let's go ahead, hop into some Lookism. We got the full little short arc here versus Johan.
Boy.
I gotta say, at first, I was disappointed that the fight happened it was so short with Zach and Johan's fight. I was like, damn, is that all we're gonna get, dude? That's it?
This one rocked me for like a hot second, dude. Like, the fight is great. It really shows Zach's progress on how, I guess, like, how bad he wants to win or bring him home or whatever. It's not even wanting to win anymore or being the best. It's just about doing what he thinks is right. And just the fact that he's no longer an outboxer, just a natural-born fighter. Let's go. He's just trying to bring Johan home.
Yeah, I'll admit, like, the conversations that happen in between the fights are great. It was cool seeing Zach finally like do some stuff. But yeah, I was just surprised that it happened so fast. Zach kind of just walks away and he's like, okay, well, that just means I have to get stronger, and if I have to help you for your revenge to bring you back, then so be it. So that's gonna be interesting to see how he's gonna handle that, and how we're gonna see the boy Daniel react to that. Because as we see in the next chapter here, Johan's a little busy teaming up with our boy Tom Lee.
Well, he always hires all the strong guys, so I feel like just because Gunn doesn't see an opportunity... True. It's like, just because Gunn doesn't have the opportunity to, like, take them on and, like, take them as they want doesn't mean that, you know, they won't find an opportunity somewhere else. I feel like a lot of the history that we meet with a lot of these people and all of the gangs are, like, failures and successes based off other people, like Choi or like Mr. Tom Lee or somebody else from the White Tiger or
Yeah.
White Horse or something like that. Yeah,
White Tiger.
You know, I do foresee that we have a lot of new people with you should always go in with the assumption that they have some complex history with at least one existing character at this point, because it always seems to be the trend through Lookism, at least, where that's really the case. And that's pretty much how we end up shedding some new character development for existing characters. And that's kind of like the little niche that I see for this serialization. Like, I can kind of see that coming with Jiho. Like, when Jiho comes back, like, you're definitely going to see something going on in between the time from whenever he got out to wherever he's at, and how that correlates with some other existing character. But that's, just hearsay. But I'm just giving you an example.
Yeah, man, we see the boy Jake Kim come out of, I guess, Juvie, right? That's where they're at?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Jake Kim is also another one, man. He's ready to go.
Yeah, he's ready to put the business down. I'm looking forward to that.
Not just him, too. Everybody's, like, training right now, man. For some, like, big war that's coming out. It's gonna happen soon. Like, the boys, the BNC, bro.
Oh my god, man! When we saw the boy Jace back, I was like, "Cool, man." And then we see the boy Vasco come in, and what he's been doing. Oh my god, dude! That's something right there.
He's already a monster, dude.
Gosh, just the way his expression was drawn was incredible. Yeah, things are really setting up nice. We even got stuff with Crystal this chapter, which I was surprised to see. Because I think you remember, I think it was you, Oscar, right? You were talking about how maybe we'll see Crystal come in during the one MCM stuff, and turns out, yeah, she was doing stuff in the background exploring that.
Yeah. I think it makes sense that is. I'm not entirely clear on what it is that she has at stake, but it could be possible that her thing is also an affiliate worker, right? Or no?
Yeah, I think she's like one
of the affiliates.
No, the fourth affiliate, probably the fourth affiliate president. I think.
No, the fourth is Samuel. Samuel got promoted to being the fourth.
Oh, I don't even know, dude.
No, he didn't.
I may have gone.
Yeah, he did.
Further than I said.
No, he's with K-House. K-House took over God Dog's position, so there's still one more place we haven't seen.
He has his own pin now.
Yeah, man.
So what happened is they dissolved his friend's company. His friend's company is no longer there, but they still need an affiliate. So Samuel and K-House, which is his new gang, are going to be the affiliate. So they're going to build a new company, but that's his gang, basically.
But I thought K-House took over God Dogs, didn't they? They took over that spot. That was the whole point of the betrayal that that guy was setting up.
Oh, I mean, it's still possible that they can do that. It's like a territory thing and a fiscal thing can both be achieved at the same time. You know what I mean?
Wait. Who's K-House under, or is they are they just their own thing?
No, remember K-House came in during the whole God Dog arc. And he thought he was, Johan thought that guy was helping him out, but it turns out he was just setting him up for failure. And that's when we saw it.
God Dog.
Yeah, that's when we saw everybody took off their...
So it's just K-House right now then. Alright.
Yeah.
But there's technically no gang there. I mean, every time that Daniel goes and destroys a gang, like there's nothing that just immediately replaces them. So he's technically already destroyed God Dog and their territory. Then he destroyed Hostile and their territory, and now he's trying to aim at workers.
I have a question. How big is K-House? Is it just those 6 people that you see, or the 7-8 people that you see, or is there more like them and then?
K-House absorbed all the people from God Dog.
Okay.
Yeah, it's basically his old crew. It's just the old crew, just without Johan. I think that the affiliates might be like introducing the older people at play here. Like, I think one other affiliate may or may not be Jay's older brother, because we know that Crystal in her company, and every now and then she talks about how Jay's older brother is infatuated with her adult version of her, or like the beautiful version of her, you know. And when he is present, he talks about wanting them to join companies or wanting them to like work together. So I feel like if they do delve into it a little bit more, he may or may not be one of those people. So that might be 3 out of the 4 affiliates that we've seen so far. That might be really grasping for straws, though. I do feel like that Jay's brother might be a bad guy. We just don't know how yet. Is it just kind of seems to be that way where, like, if you're not in high school, or like if you're already an adult, somewhere between the ages of like fucking 18 to 20, you just got corrupt as fuck.
Dude, but what's going on between Logan and Goo though? Like, they're going to the 3rd affiliate. I just love how Logan fucking just dropped out of school. He just beat the shit out of the fucking arts teacher, I think.
But yeah, man, he's just tired of all the bullshit that's been going on recently. Like how they're just saying like, oh yeah, you're part of us, right? And he's like, no, the hell I'm not. I'm fucking dropping out. And then yeah, he's going with Goo because I guess he really doesn't have anywhere else to go.
I think he's trying to forget about Kim or what's her name? What's her name?
Zoe.
Oh yeah, Zoe.
Yeah, he's trying to forget about her. Yeah, that's true.
I just actually got my friend into Lookism not that long ago, and he just passed the part where Logan had gotten skinny.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, I told him, I was like, you should reread that chapter again, because that chapter is really like trying to tell you like a little subliminal story. You know, it's one of those things where it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. But the point is, you still gotta try. You know.
Yeah, so we see everybody's putting in the work. We even see the homeboy, I forget his name, the judo guy.
Vinjay?
Yeah, he's putting in the work to get better as well. But for different reasons, though, because he's being chased by his old friends from where they used to live. And then as we see the next arc, yeah, it's solely focused on the boy Jake Kim and him coming back. So I'm sure that he's going to be targeting Daniel next. Like, that's going to be his first thing he wants to do.
Say it before and I say it again, just watch out for Vin, man. As soon as Vin gets his time in the light with his backstory,
You mean time in the dark?
Yeah, dude. When those niggas from middle school come to get his ass, now that they know where he's at, it's gonna be lit, dude. It's gonna be fucking taking people out with glass bottles and shit.
Yeah, so I think with the teases that we got in this, it's obviously going to be a more focus on all the boys from the high school. They're starting to be recognized as a threat. So I think that's why Kim is gonna, be focusing on them for this arc coming up.
I'm pretty sure we're past all the action right now with all this stuff. It's like the cooldown.
I hope we could catch up with what's going on with all the minor characters. Like Daniel can actually go back to school, and then we could get like a short breather before things pop off. Just to get a catch up on what's going on.
I know you want a slice of life for a hot minute, huh?
Like when me and Grant did the Gintama episodes for the manga reviews, we talked about how it was a nonstop action, high intensity for a long time, and I was very glad that we ended up getting a breather in between some arcs, and that levity can really help enhance what's about to happen next. So I do hope we could get some of that coming up. But I think with that, it's safe to say we can go ahead and wrap up this episode. I'm looking hyped for all that to come out. I did see, I don't remember what the official date is for the Noblest anime that might be out by next episode, so I'll definitely be talking about that if that happens. Hopefully the adaptation is not awful. So while we wait for all that, man, unversedpodcast@gmail.com. If you have any questions or comments, let us know what you think about what's going on in Gata High School and Lookism. Love to talk about it. And Unverse Podcast, everyone on social media, let you know when episodes drop. So thanks for sticking around, guys, and we will catch you on the next episode.